Welcome to the Art Lady channel. I'm here live with a third grade class, and we're going to learn about Henri Matisse today. Henri Matisse lived in France, and he was born in 1869, and he died when he was 86 years old. And he lived during a time when art was changing. Artists were inventing new things, and he and a group of artists called the Fauves developed a style called Fauvism, and they used bright colors. Then toward the end of his life, Matisse started using paper, cut paper, and collaging it. He started doing this because he couldn't paint anymore. He had just had an operation and he was laid up in bed, and so he grabbed a pair of scissors and started creating with scissors. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at some of his cut paper designs, and then we're going to be making our own images. Now, during his lifetime, Henri Matisse traveled to Tahiti, and that visit was very powerful for him. It left a lot of impressions in his mind that he wanted to create later on. And so when he was laid up in his bed, he started remembering all the great bright colors that he saw in Tahiti and all of the tropical fish and coral reefs. And he did some of these cut paper designs reflecting some of those things that he saw in his travels. This is one of his paintings, and this is a very famous painting of Goldfish, and you may have seen this. And this is a great fun lesson to do if we were to draw or paint this goldfish. But this is going to be for another time. But I just wanted to show you this so you can see how he painted with these bright, beautiful, bold colors. That trip to Tahiti really influenced him the rest of his life. But let's look at this. Here's his cut paper designs, and look, can you see the goldfish in here? Right here. He ended up doing that same painting again, but in his cut paper designs. And here's some of the coral reef or seaweed. So we're going to be thinking of these neat organic shapes, and we don't have to copy Henri Matisse. Our idea is not today to let's look at his art and let's copy his art. Let's look at his art and get some ideas and techniques that he did, and then we can invent our own ideas and techniques. But we're going to be using bright colors like Henri Matisse, and we're going to be using cut papers like Henri Matisse. And we're going to be working with positive and negative shape. The positive shape will actually be the paper. This will be our paper. The negative shape is the white space that's left behind. And we'll be using both. Do you see how the fish, the goldfish here, is in the negative? And the space around these shapes are in the negative as well. Let's look at another ocean-inspired painting or cut paper that he did. Here's some seaweed or coral here. This almost looks like seaweed. And that's in the positive, where you see the color is the positive. Where there is absence of color or absence of space, it's the negative. So this is our negative piece here. And these are just organic free-form shapes. You can't identify an organic shape. You can't say it is a circle, it is a triangle, it is a rectangle. It is what's called organic or free-flowing, a free-flowing line. So keeping in mind simple bright colors, and Matisse also loved using springtime colors, all the colors of spring. In France, it snows a lot during the winter time, and it's cold, and they look forward to the springtime. I know how they feel because I'm originally from New Hampshire, and when it's spring, everybody is so excited. The flowers are blooming through the snow. You can see little crocuses peeking through, and it's an exciting time because it's like, yay, winter is ending, the cold is done, and spring is beautiful. Just like here right now, we're having some beautiful weather here in Florida. But let's begin now with our cut paper design. What I'm going to have you do, since you're my third graders, and this is best to do it if you do it one thing at a time. If we take 10 pieces of paper and start cutting it all up, then we won't have time to glue it all on. So we have choose one background color, and then we're going to start with just one piece of paper. And I want you to wait for me. Let me do this first, and then you can do it. Take your paper and you can fold it. Just fold it any way you want to. It does not have to be exactly in half. And we are just doing some random cut paper design ideas. I want this to be just kind of generic and free form and organic like he did here. Some of these organic forms, curving organic forms. Okay? So we're folding our paper, and again, wait for me first. Let me finish this and then you can begin. And I'm just gonna, look what I'm doing with the scissors. I'm just turning and cutting big organic forms. I don't have anything in my mind. I'm just starting to cut. And then let me show you about gluing. Remember, we're not doing it right now. When we use the glue sticks or regular glue, either one, we don't turn this way up. Look at that. Because when I start gluing, it's going to smash all this down. I just leave it barely peeking out. See that? And I only need a little bit. 1, 2. Look at that. You can see it right here. There's not a lot of glue. I do not need to saturate the whole thing. A little will do. And then I'm going to put a little bit on this. So now what I've cut out, I made the line of symmetry. Let me review. When I folded this in half, this was my line of symmetry. Okay? Here's the fold right down here, and the line of symmetry is right down the middle of my fold. So when I opened it up, I had the same on both sides. This was taken away, and here is the positive form that's left. So this is my positive, and the space in between is my negative. So I'm just going to go ahead and place that on my page. And then I'm placing the piece that came out on my page as well, instead of wasting this. And just find a good place to put it and stick it down. Actually, well, that's fine, because I'm not going to have anything. And then go ahead, once you've glued your two pieces, okay, you should have no scrap paper on your desk, you can take another piece of paper and then go ahead, do the same thing. Now you don't have to do it in a square form. You can do it, the fold in a diagonal. You don't have to fold it where the edges meet. You're just kind of making random designs and random shapes. I want this to be your design. We're not copying Matisse. Here's a neat shape here. That almost looks like a leaf. And then just find a space that fills it up. You can overlap. I wouldn't have it overlap so much where it covers everything, but overlap if you'd like, and basically just glue your shapes down. And then sometimes as you're working this, you end up seeing other forms inside this and inventing something of your own. I kind of like it overlapping here. And just play with positive and negative shapes on your paper. This could kind of be falling here. Oh, I kind of even like it like that. And so take one paper at a time and just keep on working up cut paper and pattern until you get a pleasing composition. And a composition is how you arrange things on your paper. And just have fun exploring cut paper design. And what I will do is on my